As Job's comforters attack him verbally, it brings out the worst in him and drives him into God. He keeps on vindicating himself, but while he is justifying himself, he's actually blaming God. Some have argued that pride is Job's problem, only he can't see it. He was righteous in his own eyes, chapter 32, verse 1. The three friends found no answer because there was no answer. Only God can answer a self-righteous man. Job is tired of screaming in the dark. He's challenged God to vindicate him or sentence him, but God is silent. There's no fire, no voice. God doesn't appear just because somebody thinks it's time for a showdown. Now an angry young man joins in the debate. He became very angry with Job for justifying himself rather than God, chapter 32, verse 2. He is also cross with the three friends who had condemned Job. His name is Elihu. He takes up twice the space of any other speaker, including God. He's very self-opinionated and everyone ignores him. However, long-winded though he is, his explanation of God's character, that he is gracious, just, and great, is worthy of consideration. Elihu declares, God is greater than man, chapter 33, verse 12. God doesn't need to report back to any board. He is not responsible to any group, nor is he subject to public opinion. God doesn't have to give an answer to us. He is not accountable to us. I guess we all need to trust God more in the darkness when no reasons are forthcoming. He has not promised to explain everything to us, but this great God has asked us to trust him. Elihu declares, Far be it from God to do evil, from the Almighty to do wrong, chapter 34, verse 10. It is unthinkable that God would do wrong, that the Almighty would pervert justice. That's chapter 34, verse 12. Then he asks, Will you condemn the just and mighty one? Chapter 34, verse 17. Job seriously believes God's got it wrong. He surely made a big mistake where Job is concerned. Of course, Job doesn't know that it is Satan who is responsible for all these disasters, but God is permitting them for purposes never revealed to God's servant Job. In fact, God uses Job to prove to Satan that a human's faith can be genuine and selfless, not dependent on God's good gifts. Job acts as if God's integrity is on trial. Elihu scoffs at Job in chapter 35, verses 6 to 8. If you sin, how does that affect him? If your sins are many, what does that do to him? If you are righteous, what do you give to him, or what does he receive from your hand? Your wickedness affects only a man like yourself, and your righteousness only the sons of men. Actually, Elihu is flat wrong when he says, if you sin, how does that affect God? We are God's Exhibit A, his demonstration piece to the powers of the unseen world, as Philip Yancey puts it. One person's faith does make a difference. Our choices of faith matter, not just to us and our own destiny, but amazingly to God himself. C.S. Lewis put it this way, there is no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan. In one sense, Elihu did help Job, whose actions may have been right. He was not the sinner the three comforters depicted, but his attitude was wrong. He was not the saint he thought he was. He was slowly moving towards a defiant, self-righteous attitude. This know-it-all attitude God exposed and destroyed when he appeared to Job. By now, a storm was brewing over the horizon. Elihu asks some searching questions. Do you know how God controls the clouds and makes his lightning flash? 37 verse 15. Elihu says, no one can look at the sun, bright as it is in the skies. 37 verse 21. Yet you want to meet God face to face and prepare a court case in your self-defense. The four men have had their say. The answer to Job's problems is not an explanation about God, but a revelation of God. The Lord answered Job out of the storm. In fact, when God displayed his awesome majesty and greatness, it humbled Job and brought him to the place of silent submission. Job's answer to God's predicament is himself. Job has asked so many questions, now it's God's turn. The Lord asks 77 questions, and this interrogation made Job realize his own inadequacy and inability to meet God as an equal and defend his cause. Job was convinced his speeches had been filled with wisdom and knowledge, but God's first question put paid to that delusion. The Living Bible paraphrase puts chapter 38, verse 2 like this: Why are you using your ignorance to deny my providence? Job has been viewing the world and reality from a worm's eye view, and it's unfair and incomprehensible. God invites him to a divine eye view of the universe. There's an interesting verse in Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. It says, the secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may follow all the words of this law. God himself has put serious limitations on our ability to understand. As Philip Yancey writes, he has revealed much and hidden much, that we might learn humility in our search for truth. No explanation is given Job for suffering so cruelly. Now we see but a poor reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 12. God's questions put things into a clear perspective for Job. Though not able to understand, he's not been given any answers, he was able to stand. His limited range of vision and the searing pain have combined to distort reality. God now gives his servant Job a glimpse of the big picture.